Imagine pulling into your new marina slip, toolbox in hand, ready to reclaim a piece of paradise after years of service, only to find a self-appointed queen of the dock screaming that your legally bought boat is now community property, all while her fake badge gleams under the morning sun like a cheap carnival prize. That's the sucker punch that hit me square in the gut, turning what should have been a serene retirement into a farce of entitlement and theft. But oh, the sweet irony when the tables turn, and the clipboard-wielding dictator gets hoisted by her own petard. Let's dive into this tale of HOA hell, where community standards mask a criminal empire, and one quiet observer flips the script. My name's Alex Rivera, though most folks just call me Al. Former Army Sergeant, 18 years dodging IEDs in the sandbox and wrangling recruits stateside. Got the scars, the pension, and a knee that predicts rain better than any app. When I mustered out last spring, all I wanted was a slice of suburbia by the water, a quiet condo in Willow Creek Estates, a gated community hugging the Florida coastline, complete with its own private marina slips. I'd saved every penny for a modest 35-foot cruiser, the kind you fix up on weekends and take out for sunset sails. Bought it at a legit county auction for a steal. $10,000 for a boat worth triple that. Paperwork pristine. Title in my name. Thought I'd escaped the chaos of command chains for good. Boy, was I naive. Peace in a place like Willow Creek. That's like expecting mercy from a drill instructor. It evaporates the second someone smells vulnerability. The neighborhood looked picture-perfect on the surface. Manicured lawns, sparkling pools, and that marina gleaming like a postcard. But underneath, a pressure cooker of petty rules enforced by the Willow Creek Homeowners Association. Or, as the locals whispered, the Hellish Overreach Alliance. Rumors swirled about me before I even unpacked. The new guy was trouble, they said. A vet with PTSD issues who'd probably blast heavy metal at 3 a.m. Or let his non-existent dog crap on the communal grass. I heard the gossip at the mailbox. Did you see that Rivera fella? Looks shifty. Doesn't he? I kept my head down, smiled politely, and focused on the boat. Docked in slip 47. Scrubbing barnacles off the hull felt therapeutic. A far cry from sandstorms. Little did I know, the real storm was brewing in the form of Barbara Babs Thornton, the HOA president who'd turned community harmony into her personal fiefdom. It started innocently enough, or so it seemed. One crisp Saturday morning, the sun turning the water into a mirror, I was knee-deep in varnish when I heard heels clicking on the dock like gunfire. Up struts Babs, mid-50s, pearls choking her neck, hair sprayed into a helmet that could deflect bullets, clutching a clipboard stacked with forms that screamed, bureaucratic busybody. Her face was a mask of faux concern, lips pursed like she'd sucked a lemon. "Excuse me, sir," she barked, not waiting for eye contact. "Are you the individual residing at Unit 12B who presumes to own this vessel?" The way she said, "presumes," dripped with disdain, like I'd claimed the throne of England. I wiped my hands on a rag, standing slowly, army training kicking in, assessed the threat without escalating. Own it? Yeah. Bought it fair and square. Titles in the glove box if you want to see. She flashed a laminated ID badge, the kind you print at Kinko's for $5, emblazoned with Willow Creek HOA enforcement chair in Comic Sans. Oh, the irony, enforcing what? Exactly? I'm Barbara Thornton, and as president, I'm here to inform you of a compliance issue. This boat has been flagged as non-conforming to our aesthetic guidelines. Peeling paint? Unapproved modifications? It's a blight on our community's image. She waved her papers like a magic wand, citing Section 4.2, Vessel Uniformity Standards. I glanced at the dock. Half the boats looked like floating junkyards, but mine was the target. Look, ma'am, I just got here. Give me a week to spruce it up. Her smile was all teeth, no warmth. Oh, dear, it's not that simple. We've declared it abandoned property under HOA salvage rights. You'll need to submit Form 87B for reclamation, plus a $500 processing fee. Abandoned? I'd owned it for 48 hours. I bit my tongue, nodding like a good soldier. Inside, though, wheels turning. Why me? Why now? The rumors had painted me as an easy mark, the loner vet. No family, no fuss. Babs sauntered off, heels echoing her victory lap, leaving me stewing. That night, over a microwave dinner in my condo, I pulled up the HOA bylaws online. Buried in fine print, the association had lapsed 2 years back after a lawsuit over embezzlement. No active board. Babs was running a ghost ship, but with real teeth. Whispers from neighbors confirmed it. She'd revived it unofficially, collecting voluntary dues that funded her lifestyle. One guy, old Mr. Jenkins, grumbled over fence chats. She fined me $200 for a pink flamingo lawn ornament. Said it violated color harmony. Now my yard's beige as her soul. I smiled outwardly, but noted every detail. Patience. Oh, patience. Things escalated quicker than a bar fight. Monday, a notice slapped on my door. Violation alert, unauthorized boat storage. Remove within 72 hours or face lien. Lien? On my property. I called the management office. Spoke to Carla, the harried admin who'd processed my purchase. HOA? What HOA? We dissolved that mess ages ago after the scandal. Scandal? Turns out, the previous president, Bab's predecessor, got caught skimming funds for personal vacations. Babs had stepped in as interim, but never held elections. She's got no authority, Carla whispered, but she bullies everyone with those fake forms. Even convinced the insurance folks to give her kickbacks for safety audits. Kickbacks? Now we were talking fraud. I thanked her, hung up, and started digging deeper, all while playing the compliant newbie. By midweek, the harassment amped up. Babs showed up with her enforcer, her nephew, Dwayne, a paunchy ex-mall cop in a rented uniform labeled Willow Creek Patrol, mirrored shades, fake badge, the works. He loomed like a bad action movie extra. Uncle Sam here needs to inspect your vessel for hazards. Babs cooed, her voice saccharine. Community safety first. You understand. I handed over the keys, watching as Dwayne inspected by yanking out my GPS unit and bilge pump. These are outdated, he grunted. We'll hold M for testing. $800 fee to get M back compliant. I raised an eyebrow. Outdated? I installed M last week. Babs interjected smoothly. Our standards are higher than federal regs, dear. We can't have subpar equipment endangering our pristine waters. Pristine? The marina had oil slicks from leaky yachts owned by her cronies. I let them leave with the gear, seething but silent. That evening, casual chats with dockmates revealed the pattern. Sarah from Slip 22. They took my radio last month. Said it interfered with community frequencies. Charged me $1,200 and never returned it. Old-timer Pete. Watch your back at night. They audit when you're asleep. Haul away non-compliant stuff. Sell it online. I bet. Hushed tones. Fearful glances. Babs had the neighborhood in her grip, manipulating gossip to isolate dissenters. Don't cross her, Pete warned. She'll spread lies. Say you're unstable. Sure enough. Next day, emails circulated, concerned about the new resident's erratic behavior. Possible safety risk. Me? Erratic? I'd been the model of calm. But the seeds were sown, neighbors avoided eye contact. Whispers followed me like shadows. Enough was enough. I wasn't backing down. I was biding time. Called an old army buddy, now a PI in Miami, Jake Morales. Al, this smells like a racket. Fake HOAs popping up everywhere. Stealing under compliance cover. He linked me to reports. Similar scams in Georgia and Texas. Equipment fenced on eBay. Document everything. I'll sniff around. That night, I rigged a trail cam on a nearby piling, hidden in fake foliage. Motion activated. Night vision, army surplus at its finest. At 1:47 a.m., jackpot, Dwayne and two goons in a dinghy, tools glinting. They boarded my boat, unbolted the outboard motor mount, whispering codes, asset acquired. Proceed to depot. Professionals. All right, but sloppy enough to get caught on tape. Coffee cold the next morning. I replayed the footage, a grin creeping despite the rage. Sent it to Jake. Bingo. That's our mark. He looped in FBI contacts, Agent Lila Vargas. Tracking interstate theft rings disguised as HOA ops. Pattern matches, she said over a secure line. Fake audits. Stolen marine gear resold black market. Millions lost. Your vid's gold. Plan hatched. Babs was throwing her annual Community Harmony Gala. That weekend a schmoozefest for donors and residents. Touting her upgrades. Half the guests, undercovers. My part, the humble defender, begging mercy. Play along, Vargas advised. Egos like hers love to gloat. The gala was a circus of excess. Tents on the clubhouse lawn, fairy lights twinkling, a string quartet mangling jazz standards. Attendees in khakis and polos, sipping Prosecco like royalty. Babs glided in a floral dress that screamed, desperate socialite, pearls clacking. She spotted me, eyes narrowing then widening in triumph. Mr. Rivera, so glad you've seen the light. Ready to comply. Her tone was patronizing honey. I feigned sheepishness. Yeah, I get it now. HOA keeps things orderly. Mind explaining your programs? Sounds impressive. She preened, handing a brochure slick as snake oil. $1,200 inspections, $400 certifications, $300 disposal fees. We ensure excellence, she boasted. Repurpose outdated assets for the greater good. Repurpose? Code for steal and sell. On stage, Babs beamed under spotlights. 3 years of stewardship. We've removed 30 tons of hazardous equipment, enhancing our idyllic haven. Slides flashed boats of victims. I knew now. Applause rippled. I stifled a chuckle at the absurdity. Q&A time. I raised my hand innocently. Ms. Thornton, how do you source replacements? Meet those strict federal standards. She lit up like a slot machine. We collaborate with recovery experts who optimize underused resources from our network. Boom, confession on mic. Recorded for posterity. Vargas nodded from the crowd. The net tightened. 9:15 p.m. Champagne toasts underway. Babs mid-clink when Vargas ascended. Badge flashing. Barbara Thornton, You're under arrest for fraud, theft conspiracy, and false authority impersonation. Gasps echoed. Chairs scraped. Babs sputtered, face twisting comically. This is outrageous. I'm upholding standards. Vargas deadpanned. You just admitted to a felony empire before witnesses, FBI, and locals. Zip it. Chaos ensued. Dwayne nabbed by the buffet. Tools in his van. Goons bolted but hit a perimeter of agents. Guests murmured, piecing it, their dues-funded theft, not harmony. Weeks later, the unraveling. 19 arrests spanning states, $2.5 million in gear recovered from shady warehouses. Babs drew 20 years federal time, Dwayne 12. Pleas flowed like cheap wine. My boat, restored via forfeiture funds, shiny as new. Standing on the deck months on, waves lapping, I felt vindicated. This wasn't just my win. It exposed how fake power preys on silence. Babs thrived on unquestioned rules, turning neighbors into compliant sheep. But push back with smarts, cracks appear. Post-bust. Emails flooded. Victims sharing HOA horrors. Helped a fellow vet in Cali reclaim her trawler from a bogus club. Launched the Vets Against Overreach Network, nonprofit battling scams. Retirement, another tour, but on my terms. Kept Babs' prison letter tacked in the cabin. Innocent, subordinate's fault. I'll expose the truth. A laughable reminder, vigilance eternal. So, here's the kicker. In a world of clipboard tyrants, is backing down ever the right call? Or does true order demand we question every authority that smells fishy? Drop your take below, fight or flight, because every suburb's got a Babs lurking. And sometimes, not on my watch is the real community service.